How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And in this video, we're going to be talking about MULN and as well as for Polestar. We do have CPI that's going to be coming out tomorrow. It will have an impact on both of these stocks. Let's take a look at the charts right now. Let's start with MULN. So we can see that it closed at 78 cents, being down 1.54%. On the low, it tested 78 cents, and then on the high, testing 82 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 36.906 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 53.014 million shares. So this is below the average in regards to volume, and we also had a pullback in this stock. When we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, things are getting very interesting for MULN. We can clearly see that it is trading below all of our major moving averages, which is the 9 EMA, the 21 EMA, and as well as the 50 EMA. And it's clear to see that the 9 EMA has consistently served as resistance for this play. Every single time it tries to get above it, it just ends up being rejected. And these constant rejections pretty much has MULN trading at the 78 cents level of where it's at. But what's interesting though, that MULN is getting near a level that it is known to bounce off of, and this is taking into consideration 76 cents. We've bounced off this level in the past back here on May the 12th. You could also see that we've bounced off this level all the way back in March. So if we come down to this level again for this week, can we look forward to another bounce to test that 9 EMA? It could be a possibility, but like I said, CPI will have an impact. If I see the market falling off a cliff, MULN should be following along, and that's where I could see it pulling back all the way to 70 cents. And if it comes down to 70 cents and we don't have any buyers, there is a gap that needs to be filled to the downside right here around 62 cents. So that is something you're going to want to add to your homework if it decides to break through that 70 cent level. If we end up having that bounce between 75 or 76 cents, then what do we want to see? Of course, you want to see a retest going to at least 80 cents. It may not get to the 82 cent high that it saw on the day, but if it can get to 80 and then move up further, it gets interesting because we do have the 9 EMA, which is at 85 cents. So if it can come back to the 9 EMA and gain some sort of momentum after we have the report, maybe it ends up being digested in a great way and the market picks up, then we know the next level to watch would be the 21 EMA at 93 cents. This is a level that carries a lot of significance, and we have shown resistance at this level in the past as well, but breaking through it, I know many of you want to see MULN getting to that $1 level. So you know what it looks like to the upside and as well as for the downside. Let's see what the market gives us going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for MULN. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings, we have one here for the August 8th. We have Lincoln Variable Insurance Product Trust that purchased 12,600 shares. And we see for the 5th, Oakworth Capital Inc. that purchased 12,000 shares. And the other filings we have already covered. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratios at 58.90%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 25.98 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 2.3 million, updated 14 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 26.38%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 5th, it was at 51.76, and then for the close of the 8th, being at 58.90. So that is a significant increase right there. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 17%, MULN does have short squeeze potential. So let's see how it performs with the CPI report coming out tomorrow. Let's move on to Polestar. So let's take a look at the chart for Polestar. So we see that we closed at $9.32, being down 5.19%. On the low, it tested $9.14, and then on the high, testing $9.88. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 1.19 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 1.412 million shares. So you can see that we did have below average volume on the day, and we also saw a pullback pullback in the stock. When we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, here's what I want to bring to your attention. We see that Polestar was able to find support just above the 9 EMA, which is at $9.28. So this is good to see. Even though we are below the 50 EMA and as well as the 21 EMA, if the markets turn around going into tomorrow, I'm looking for Polestar to do the same. We did see a high at $9.88, and on the previous day we saw a high at $9.96. So we can clearly see that this stock wants to make a move going to $10, but we need strong market conditions. And as far as seeing that high at $9.88, $10 is not far away whatsoever, and Polestar can definitely get there. When it breaks above $10, then the next area we're going to see some resistance will be right here around $10.50. Now, if it decides to have a further pullback, then I'm looking for support to hold up at least around $9. We had a low today at $9.14, so you're going to want to keep that in mind. If we break through $9, we have to remember that the 52-week low is at $8.53, and it will go back to revisiting those levels if the market decides to have a strong sell-off. But that also brings me to my next point. As far as for all of my bulls out there, if we don't end up getting that price action to where we're getting close to $10, if we end up getting a higher low, that is very bullish. So any support being shown above $9.14, probably most preferably $19.20 or even $19.30 would be a good look for the stock and would put it back into an uptrend to seeing what it does if it can make that move further to the upside. So it will be interesting to see how it performs, but hey, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow, or maybe you might be catching this video today of. Let's take a look at the short interest. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Polestar. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings we have here for August 8th, we have Putnam FI Investment Management Company that purchased 13,008 shares, and then for the 5th we have Clearview Wealth Advisors LLC that purchased 50 shares, and the rest we have already covered. Now when we take a look at the short interest, the off exchange short volume ratio is at 51.46%, and then for the off exchange short volume it is at 664,407 shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 10,000, updated 17 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate it is at 166.47%, so we see it's still elevated. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 5th it is at 64.34, and then for the close of the 8th it was at 51.46. So that is a significant decrease right there, and by taking a look at the data alone, we know that Polestar does have short squeeze potential. And that pretty much sums up the video for you guys. Like I said previously, look out for the CPI report that's going to be coming out tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. EST. It will have a significant impact on the overall market, but the good thing is you guys know these levels if you're interested in these stocks. And if you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button. I'll be talking to you guys real soon.